And that's just me being real about some of our weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? But on the other end, now on the other end, if we being real, just as much as they go after D'Lo, we got to go after Nurkic, putting his ass in every ball screen we can, make him get as many actions as we can, keep him working the whole game. He should never be able to drop back and rest if he's on the floor, especially if AD is on the floor. There's no way he should be resting. We should be working the shit out of him because what happened last time, Bud had to take him out, put KD at the 5 because Plumlee was really a non-factor. He really wasn't doing anything we had to worry about. KD had to go to the 5. And don't get me wrong, KD's a pretty good defender. He's 7 foot, long wingspan. Holds his own for the most part, but nowhere near as great of a defender as he is a offensive player. And he ain't nothing he can do with AD. Let's be real. He ain't guarding AD. He gonna foul every time, or he gonna Olay. He gonna get out the way, and AD gonna go to work. And so we got to have another big game from AD. So it's an opportunity for AD to have another big game because Nurkic can't do nothing with him. We're gonna get him out of the way and pick on him. He's gonna have to sit him again, hopefully, and then it's open range from there. That's just how I really think we can affect the game, and especially if we can get Austin Reeves to have another great game like he did against Phoenix a couple of nights ago, where his production kind of crosses out what Devin Booker does. That would be even better, right? And that's what I think gives us such a great chance to win the game like we did the other night. And is it just me, or to me, is it kind of like Bradley Beal just becoming kind of regular schmegular? Like he cool, but he either is like the injuries have kind of slowed him down, or maybe he was just in Washington and they were always pretty good, but they were never like what we thought he was, what we thought he was. If that makes sense, right? Because soon as like he said that whole thing about the other night on the camera about my mom always told me to eat my food or whatever, whatever he said, the little comment in the camera. He went like 1 for 6 the rest of the game, or 1 for 8 for the rest of the game after that. And he really kind of forgot Bradley Beal was out there, and injuries always kind of plagued him too, so that's a big part of it, especially last year. And so just something to keep an eye on. Me basically saying I don't trust him, and if we can keep him under wraps too, and don't let all three of them get the hitting shots like they were, the splurs they had, I think we should be able to win that game again. But I wouldn't be surprised if we drop this game against the Suns, just because again they're coming off a really great win against Dallas. Maybe they figuring out some things over there within their offense. But again, I think there's also a big chance for Rui to have another big game because he's showing how great of a rebounder he is, especially with this whole method that JJ is using of crashing from the corners and crashing from those angles, where he's able to get a lot of those loose rebounds and beating guys to the ball and just out hustling people, which is really starting to become our DNA. It's just grit and determination and just outworking people. And so putting Nurkic in many ball screens, putting him in so many things where he's away from the basket or he's so busy working to defend, he's not able to rebound, which was a big problem for them while we were able to beat them up on the board. So it's a big opportunity for Rui as well. So, man, it's just something to keep our eye on. And kind of what I said earlier, man, Connect 4, Dalton Connect, man, I'm watching him, and our bench has to be better than their bench. Connect has to come off the bench and be productive. Jackson Hayes has to continue to come off the bench doing what he's doing. Gabe, if he can knock down a couple threes and continue to defend like that, man, we're gonna be in great shape. And our guys have to be better than Royce O'Neal, the young rookie that they just got from, I believe, came from Virginia. Hell of a defender, but he's also showing he can shoot the ball. Who else they got coming off the bench? Um, I don't even remember who the other guys coming off that bench. They got Bobo. Who else they got? Overall, we have to be better than them. And I think if we're able to do that, we're gonna be okay. We're okay. And that's really some of the keys to success that I see, man. D'Lo can be getting picked on. Gabe got to be ready. He has to be, that floor general that he was in the last game, but able to knock down a couple more shots. We got to put Nurkic in as much things as we can, Gabe, and now have Rui ready to crash and rebound because Nurkic is so tired, and we can just out rebound KD in them as well. Like we can really kill them on the boards and contain Bill. I think if Bill's not able to be a third option, even if Book and KD get to going off, I think we can handle that. With LeBron and AD, and like I said, we can get Austin and D'Lo or Gabe, one of them guys to show up, and you get Dalton to do something too. That's a lot to ask for. I get it, but I think that's some of our formulas for success and some of the key points that I wanted to make mention of. And before I get out of here, man, random, but the Bucks lost to Brooklyn tonight. That had me scratching my head, man. And somebody said, "Damn, soon as Ham go back to coaching over there with the Bucks, they start losing to teams like Brooklyn." And that's very funny. I don't think Ham necessarily is the reason, but something is wrong there in Brooklyn because now excuse me, in Milwaukee because they just lost to Brooklyn and they just lost to Chicago a couple nights ago. And so that's very weird. And I looked at it, man. I think Dame was like 1 for 7 for three for like 15, 17 points. He might have like 21 points, but yeah, he was like 1 for 7 for three. Giannis was okay. I think maybe one person off the Bobby had like 15 off the bench, but other than Bobby, I don't think anybody off their bench had over 5 points. And so, from just a glance and not really watching the game, I can see that their bench has not been very reliable. Um, and they're not able to outscore people in that regard. And you're asking Giannis and Dame to be on their A game every single night to where Dame can't afford to go 1 for 7. And if he goes 1 for 7 from three, and he's already not a super great defender, and from the looks of it, Cam was getting off. Cam from Brooklyn was getting off. He had 32. And who's guarding him? I'm not sure who they had on him, but he was busting somebody, and that was nothing they could do with him. And so it looks like the formula for Milwaukee is you asking Giannis and you asking Dame to stay healthy all year and show up every single night and never have anybody they can rely on just in case that they don't show up, right? Or they don't have the greatest game, or they're not hitting every shot. Does that mean that they're gonna lose? And just remember, and it's too early to just panic or anything, but that's just something to keep our eye on because I didn't expect to see that they lost to the Brooklyn tonight. Nothing. I don't know if it's something to worry about yet, but Steph hurt his ankle tonight. He left off the court gingerly, and we all know about Steph. He's always had foot problems, ankle problems. It's always been his kind of his Achilles, so to speak, that kept him off the court, which he wasn't hurt a lot, but when he was, it was always something usually in that department. And so, man, that's just something to keep our eyes on and asking ourselves, what does that really mean for the Warriors, especially if that's something that they have to deal with for, you know, X amount of weeks or X amount of games or whatever the case may be. Because I'm not gonna lie, from afar, Warriors have been looking pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong, they haven't played anybody. They play like Utah and like Portland, but just from looking at them, they look good. You know what I mean? They were knocking down shots. Their ball moving looks good. They are pretty deep in the sense of having a great team of like role players that are great in their roles and a couple great defenders, and then Buddy shooting the shit out the ball. So just something to keep your eye on because they don't have Steph. I mean, they only go far as he takes them. You know what I mean? And if not, then they just go back to a very regular schmegular team. But I don't really know who you can ask on that team when he goes down to just step up on a nightly basis to go get you 30. I guess Kaminga, maybe D'Anthony Melton can hold his own maybe a little bit. Buddy gonna have to be big. I mean, who else? Shit, who else? Who can you really ask besides them? So that's just that's definitely something to keep your eyes on, man, when it comes to that. But but yeah, man, that's really all I got for you guys, man, when it comes to just some updates on the recent game with the Lakers and the Kings, our upcoming game with the Suns here tomorrow on Monday, the 28th, and a couple other random things that I want to touch on. Like I said, the Bucks losing to Brooklyn, keep your eye on that. I don't know what's going on in Milwaukee. Early to say though, and hopefully Steph isn't out too long, man. But yeah, that concludes the episode of SkyBox Conversations, man. Can't wait to tune into the game tomorrow and come back with some post-game comments. Man, be sure to like, subscribe to this channel, man. Can't wait to start the private community where you guys can come on here and support, especially if you love the takes that we're giving. Appreciate you guys. Love.
Hey, what's up? This is Will Z Tidwell with Speak Up Z. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of Speak Up Z, the podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.